Let's go for a little hike. I've been leaving large amounts of apples and eggs on the left side of this trail. I left a note attached to my clipboard. I usually always leave a note attached to my work clipboard. This is where I take a rest break. Try to rest anyway until they wake me up with chimp noises and breaking sticks and throwing stuff at my vehicle. So let's take a walk. I cleaned up this area. I left a garbage bag there, and ever since someone has brought a garbage can. That's kind of cool. These rocks, they've been being moved and placed in different areas. Usually on the fence post. One of the apples I dropped off about 2 months ago, I dropped off a whole bunch of apples on the left side of the trail. One of the apples I left here, and it was here for like 2 weeks. Nobody moved it, nobody touched it, no animals. And every couple of days I'd come back and nobody had touched it. So I moved it onto the metal fence. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I moved it. And the very next time I came back, the apple was placed here in succession. It had been, separated into 4 almost exact shapes. It was really interesting. It was definitely rotted. So I don't know what that was about. And then when I was cleaning up the whole property, somebody had left a whole bunch of eggs in the pile here. It was springtime. In beside on the road here, there's a whole bunch of unbroken eggs. So I picked them all up. I brought them over here, and I gently rolled them down this hill here. And when I came back the very next day, there was at least 20 or 30 eggs. When I came back the next day, they were all gone. So we recently had some eggs that we were going to throw out, and I don't know what kind of animals are eating them or what, but I rolled them over here, and I can see there's still a few left here. A couple down here. But there was probably 2 dozen that I left, so they've been taking them. Someone. And they're off trail, so it's not like they're easy to see. I've also noticed strange sticks and stuff laying on the ground. This is just a walking path, so you're not supposed to take ATVs down here or anything like that. Look what we have here. That is highly unusual. So usually, there's a lot of, something goes in here. Those are probably some of the eggs I dropped off last week. Last week or this week? Anyway, Usually when I go down past this corner down there, that's when I start to get the growling, stick breaking, grunting. So let's go down there. I've heard deep foot stomps and stuff when I'm back at the truck sometimes after I walk down the path. So there's something out here, I'll tell you that. Those eggs that was highly unusual. I've never seen that before. I've never seen even any dog species or anything out here, any coyotes. I haven't seen any fox tracks in the snow or anything like that. Oh, beautiful trail. So out here, I've got pictures on my phone. You can see tree stumps here. There's tree stumps all over this area. I walked in there in the springtime and I put apples on every tree stump I could see for quite a ways in. I had 2 bags of apples, and even up in the trees on some of these sticking out parts, I would place the apple on the tree if it would balance, or jam it into the branch. And again, same thing when I came back. A few of the apples were missing the first time I came back. But then when I came back, I think it was about 4 days later, there was only 1 or 2 apples left. So I took pictures of the progression of apples going missing. So I've just heard something to my right here in the woods. Something's pacing me over here. So it's time to turn around. And I just heard growling. I don't know if that would come through. But again, I really think people need to pay attention when they're in the forest. Growling, something pacing you. Obviously there's lots of animals you have to be aware of. Mountain lions, bears. But there's other things out here too. I don't think people realize that. You gotta pay attention. They break sticks or start grunting. They're just saying, hey, this is our area. Time for you to turn around. Time for you to leave. Wow, the mosquitoes are thick back here. So, yeah. I'm sure they can recognize different people by their vehicles, by their face, and possibly even by your intentions. What are your intentions? Are you here to annoy us? Are you here to smoke a joint? What are you doing? And I don't think they like some things that we do in the forest. Come out here to go to the washroom. I don't think they like that either. I try my best not to interfere with anything that they do out here. Again, I cleaned up this whole area. It was so much garbage. There was like a lot of garbage in here with those eggs. There was bottles everywhere. I even went out to the road and cleaned up the ditches. I cleaned up all this area. There was who knows what, like people's used clothing and tissues and stuff. I wore gloves obviously to pick stuff up, but there was old bottles and somebody was camping in this area here. So I just cleaned it up and started dropping off some food because they were waking me up when I was sleeping. And I think maybe they thought I was just another guy, you know, throwing garbage around and being stupid. But respect. That's what I think it is. These trees are so mature, so tall. So tall. I'd say 100 feet plus. From what I can tell, there's at least two here, because after my walk down the trail, I usually hear growling coming from the right or left, doesn't really matter. I can hear way over here when I get back here. There's whooping sounds. And then stick breaking starts happening over here. This one here is big. Whatever stays on this side, it is a big animal. It stomps and growls. Something just hit my van there. I've yet to figure out what they're doing. Like what is the purpose of throwing stuff at your vehicle and breaking sticks and stuff like that, especially if you know that this individual has fed you or anything. Okay. I just saw something move over here. Straight in there, straight in there. I am 6'1", so I'm putting you at eye level right now. I just saw something go down and kind of over, like this. We're not alone here. And there is something in most Ontario forests. Oh. I see something down there. Really low to the ground. What is that? Anyway. What was I talking about? There's something in Ontario forest there, for sure. There's lots of like stick structures and weird things happening in the forest. Like these rocks here, what would be the point in moving those around? That's not how they were set up last time I was here. I try not to touch them, but so there's a big arch here. Looks like that tree's still alive. That's been like that since the springtime. It wasn't like that in the winter. But yeah, that's alive. That's a live tree. So there's a path walking down here. You could probably walk down there. I ain't going down there. That's where all the stomping comes from. I'm usually done walking and putting apples out there. One time when I was sleeping here, I thought I had heard something beside my vehicle, and in my dream, a huge face came up beside my window, like covering the whole window, and it like woke me up. Holy crap! And I looked back. There was nothing there. It was just what I had dreamed. Okay. There was thumping going on again. I'm not talking about the car thumping. I'm talking about other like footsteps. This whole area, believe it or not, there was like, I don't know, somebody was tying stuff to the plants. Plastic like wristbands from hospitals and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? You gotta make a mess. Getting bitten by mosquitoes. Oh. Yeah, I know a lot of people, there's too much vehicles and stuff. There's no animals there. You don't understand something about this animal. They are not scared of anything. I'm telling you, they are not. You could shoot a gun off right in front of these things. They wouldn't move. I think they just stand their ground. They're not scared of anything. They know they're big. And their intimidation things that they use. Why did I walk over here? I just saw something in the trees over here. Why did I come back here? That was weird. This is where I was pointing where something was. Because we were over. And I just walked back here for no apparent reason. Traffic doesn't bother these animals. I don't think people realize that. Well, you're not deep enough in the woods to find a 600-pound animal walking upright. You want to bet? Come out here. Strange. You can see there's like cobwebs on that one. But this one was not like this. I was here a couple days ago. And this one was, I believe, on top of this or on top of this. Anyway, I usually make a 20-minute video, so that's 20 minutes. Just tell you a little bit about this area. So there's a walking path down this way too. It's some kind of a trail. And you can see how tall these trees are. These are amazing. It's beautiful down here. Huge trees. And this tract, I don't know, it's like probably 30 acres from what I can tell on the Google map. I'm gonna go up to the road and see what the name of this is. Victory Tract, Wellington County Forest. Yeah, there's at least 2 huge animals in here. And it's a nice walking trail. I wish I could go a little further past that corner, but I heed warnings. If they start making noise, it's because you're doing something wrong. These are, as far as I can tell, they're a type of nocturnal creature, and these ones awake in the daytime. I think they're probably watchers. They're just making sure you don't stumble across their sleeping friends and family. So, important information. Have a good day.